What's going on, boys and girls? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another video. All right. So real quick, while I'm talking here, I'm gonna do something, okay? And you guys are gonna be like, Payne, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? But we're gonna get to the point in a second. So you can see my team here, right? This is my free-to-play account. Not really what this is about, but I do want to talk about something. And I'm gonna go ×1 for a second, which I normally never, ever do. But I want to make a point here, okay? So right there, you saw Zangief body slammed and kick somebody in the face, right? And you're about to see him do something else right now. Right here. Something you guys are all used to seeing. So right there, I'm going to stop. Okay, so you saw the word interrupt and stun most likely. You saw him doing a spin. So I want to talk about what this is about. Okay, so a lot of people, content creators specifically, have been making videos about whether Street Fighter Duel is dying. Okay, so I want to give you my take on this because a lot of people have actually messaged me after Rokage. Shout out to my boy Ro and Hazing, who has put out a video about Sagat, right? And he says how, he doesn't want you guys to spend because what's the point, really? You're not getting rewarded. He is not wrong. And also, another point on Hazing real quick, which I think is very unfair, is that a lot of people are pointing at him as the reason why why this game took away the pity. Are you guys kidding me? All right, so I'm going to give you my take and I'm going to talk about all that stuff. And I'm going to bring on every content creator into here. Sion, Pika, Cole, Colorin, Clive, A Marky Mark, etc. Right? We're going to just throw everybody into the list of folks. Don Buka, which I believe he does some content, Mr. Turtle. All these content creators who are creating content for this game, we have all one thing in common, okay? And that is we are not delusional to the problems of the game. Now, how I see Street Fighter is completely different than how some other people Street Fighter. Okay, I see Street Fighter. Some people think it's a dying game. I think of it as a revolving door. So where my analogy came in with him kicking, stomping, and then doing the beast spin, that's how I feel Street Fighter Duel does to its player base. Okay, I'm going to explain to you guys a little more into what I'm talking about. But the stomping and kicking is, let's say you're a brand new player, okay, and you've played for a month. You were enticed to join Street Fighter Duel because it's a Street Fighter game and your favorite characters are in this, but you realize, oh my god, I can't get all my favorite characters because, hey, I care more about the characters than I do the game itself. That's why I'm playing this. And then you get a nice kick and stomp, a nice body slam and stomp in your gut to tell you, holy crap, you know what? This game is built for me not to collect all the characters. As a matter of fact, it's built for me to spend as much money as possible to get as many characters. Now, I'm going to say this quickly. I do still think this game is very free-to-play friendly for the OG characters. And I've said this from day one. To acquire the OG characters, it is absolutely possible for you to get a good account to advance in the game. But a lot of you are going to care more about the characters that come out, not the characters that are already here. It's like anything else in life, right? A brand new car comes out, you have the old 2002 version, 2024 comes out, and you're like, damn, I bought this 10 years ago. I would love to have this new car because of all the nice shiny features it does. It's a power creep car. It's a power creep car. It's going to outdo your car in every possible way, and you feel your car's irrelevant now, right? As I said from a couple, I don't know what video it was, but the games, the gacha games, are built to mimic real life. They're meant for you to want things you don't have because they're shinier, they're newer, and they're what you've been waiting for. So I feel like Street Fighter isn't not all pay to win. I do feel, though, it is a revolving door where here's how it treats its clients, okay? And this is a fact, in my opinion. It caters to new players coming in and old players leaving, and it doesn't mind that happens. Street Fighter Duel is a game that brings out hype characters knowing that there's not enough time for its existing player base unless they pay a lot of money to acquire that character. They know that there's not enough time for these characters to be had from a hard work perspective. Like, you can't just work your ass off and get these characters for two reasons. Number one, obviously, we talked about the pity system. This is notorious. We've all talked about it. So back to Hazing here about the pity system. Guys, stop blaming the guy. If they were planning to take away the pity system, which they were, by the way, MH Ken was the last bit. It was an introduction to get everybody to join and for people to spend as much money as possible to get him. the pity system removal was inevitable. And I'll tell you this why, because Topjoy and other developers that are like that have done this in plenty of other games. They've never added pities purposely because they know they have an IP that is alluring and people will jump on board to see that IP. So stop blaming Hayes for this. It's not his fault. Okay? Same with like someone like Scion. People were like saying like, oh, he predicted the demise of this game. I think we all predicted it. So shout out to Scion for saying that and being honest about it. I think we all predicted. I said it a while ago that this is not going to last more than 2 years if they keep up this route. Now, is Sagat the issue? Absolutely not. Like I said, it's a revolving door. So the purpose, in my opinion, of them doing this is they want to weed out the people that don't spend. So for the free-to-play that are tired of not pulling Eva Ryu or saving up and not getting their characters, they want to get rid of you guys who aren't spending. And they want to open the door for all these brand new players to come in. And maybe out of the 100 players, they'll get one player who's willing to spend a couple $1,000s, right? And then that'll happen for every server. Now, why do you think, guys, that they'll never merge servers? Why do you think that we have 500 plus servers now? It's because they know when a new whale joins the game, when somebody looks to spend, they don't want to compete with OG whales because they won't have a chance. Their chance is next to none to win. So they continue to increase these. And don't even think it's about storage capacity or any of that nonsense, right? Because here's the thing. If it was a storage capacity situation, I don't think in the TOS they're allowed to do this, but they would do some sort of a mass cleanup to give themselves more space in these servers in order to accommodate more players. And they would have amalgamated those dead servers with other dead servers to make them a little more lively. But they're not doing that because why? They want to cater to the whales. At the end of the day, it is a business. It is a business. So if you guys don't understand the model is out of every 10,000 people, they need 1 to 2% of those people to spend obscene amounts of money, right? So I need you guys to think about that, right? And that's what I mean by Street Fighter Duel as a revolving door. So will the game die? The only way it's going to die is not from the player base being smaller. I promise you, that's not going to affect it. It's from that small player base or the new acquisition of players not spending money. That's how this game is going to die. It's all about the green. Or in Canadian dollars, the monopoly money, right? It's all about the colorful money. If we're not spending, they're forced to do two things. Number one, make mass adjustments to the business model and make it more catered to the demands of the consumer. Or number two, they shut down. And I'm telling you this now, if people were more cognizant about the way they spent and were a little more resistant to the temptations of IP characters, things will look different. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say what other people are saying where like, I am hyped about Sagat. I am. I don't see the thing is I think where it's different for me is like I don't need to get that character right away to Triple S plus. I don't. This is not a game that I spend 24 hours on. I make content for it for you guys to help you guys advance or to show you guys what the news is or what the latest up to date information is and I do some testing for you guys to give you guys the best possible chances to increase your score, whatever the case may be. I'm not in it for like the newest character. I think I've made this pretty clear. So for me, the game plays the way I want it to play. It does exactly what I need to do as a father of two, as a full-time career IT professional, as somebody who has a crazy busy life, who plays sports, who's constantly working out. For me, this game is a means to an end for a mind meld. I needed to just relax, and I love the community. And I can't stop talking about that more than anything else, because if you look back on my history at Ninja Tribes, that's what kept me in the game. It wasn't the game itself. It wasn't about the money that I spent, right? That is almost recoverable already. I kid you not, guys. The what keeps me here are the people. Like myself, Evo, Book, Tix, all these other guys who are testing. We spent hours. Like Tix not as much, obviously, but you know who you are. We spent hours on testing and figuring things out. And honestly, man, Crunchyroll, get some damn translators and get some damn testers. Like we shouldn't be your testers. You should be compensating us every month for testing for you. It's ridiculous. We may as well be on your payroll. But it's things like that where the communication between players and learning about new people and understanding new personalities, for me, that's what keeps me in the game, personally, right? It's not about Sagat dropping. It's hype because it's Sagat. I love Sagat. I love my lower characters, but I'm not like jonesing to get him. I'm not going to spend any money. You guys know this already. So that's the model. I want you guys to understand that. So if you had the mindset, in my opinion, not everyone's going to have this mindset, obviously. Not everyone's going to care about what I say or think the way I think. But I guess what I'm trying to do is like reprogram my own brain And it's working, guys. It really is working. It has worked for the last 3.5 months where I just don't care about acquiring these units to max right away and then being able to utilize them in whatever content. With my free to play, I'm hitting top 30. My pay to win, old pay to win account, this main account, or this the other account, I'm hitting top 2. Really, it's enough. I don't need Flame Chun-Li to do max damage. I don't need Evil Ryu maxed out right away. I don't need Akuma maxed out right away. I have my Vega at SSS. I stopped there. Summer Yang was interesting enough, but I was wrong about him. But you know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like, you guys have to understand. For me, it's just a new player acquisition that comes in, and then the old player leave. And the sad part is, I wish they need to figure out a way to keep the old players together, because I feel like the hardcore players are the ones that's driving your game. The new players coming in eventually become hardcore players, the ones that stay and spend money. You need to be able to keep those people. You can't keep losing your core player base because you don't want to implement a simple thing like a pity system and other things, right? Like, for example, the translation for this Akuma fight is ridiculous. Like, the amount of time we spent figuring out 2 sentences is absurd. Literally absurd. Like, there should be no reason for us to be doing this. But hey, the benefit to it is I'm getting to meet a lot of my subscribers. I'm getting to talk to a lot of people I would never talk to outside of that. So it is from a communication standpoint, a community standpoint, it's banding us together, which I love. But for God's sakes, Crunchyroll, that's not your intent. You know that. You know as well as I do. You're not purposely messing up text to get us to come together, kumbaya all of a sudden. You're doing it because you're lazy. Like, it's ridiculous how much time we've spent to figure out 2 sentences of plain English, which doesn't even doesn't equate to what's happening in the game. It should never be something we were forced to do, and that is test on your behalf. So, all in all, to say, guys, yeah, I am hyped about Sagat. Stop blaming Hazing about the pity system. It's ridiculous. Shout out to all the creators who know that this game is dying. But it's dying in a way that's very normal for gacha games, where older players leave, newer players come in because of the hype, and then it becomes a cyclical thing, right? The newer players becomes older players, they leave, new players come in, and it just goes like this. And again, like I said to you, these games are like harpoons, and we're like all whales. There's a reason why it's called that, right? We're all whales. And what it's trying to do essentially is just out of the, thousands of small little fish that are floating, they're trying to harpoon 1 or 2 whales to spend a couple hundred G's, a couple thousand G's, and then those whales quit because they realize what they're getting themselves into, and then it just repeats until the game shuts down. And then every whale's like, where's my money? It's all gone, guys. So, do I think the game is dying? No, I don't think it's dying. I think it's playing the course of what every gacha game that's greedy goes through. It goes through losing hardcore players, good players, loyal players, to gaining new players because of a hype character. Those people becoming invested into the game, they become the loyal players, they lose them, etc. And it just continues to go. So the biggest problem with this game, hands down, is retention. And how do you retain your player base? You give them what they want. You made a survey out there. You kind of forgot to ask the most important questions. Forget the collab characters. Forget if we want to see celebrities. Forget that shit. Nobody cares about that. Your first question should have been, how do we retain you? Give us a text format of 1,000 characters, probably more, and we'll write you guys an old school scroll of what we want. And I promise you this, out of every 100 players, 90 of them will all be the same things. It's simple, guys. Just make your players happy. So to those content creators who are speaking up about the game dying, big ups to you. I think it's a great point of view you're all sharing. I think that it's something that as content creators we're responsible for. I've said it before that we're news anchors for you guys, and I think it's important for us to share our views. Whether you guys want to listen to our views or not is irrelevant, right? I mean, you don't have to. We're just normal people behind keyboards and a mic and a camera, and I've got a couple masks and stuff behind me. But I've played gachas for 10 years now, and I've seen the demise of some great ones, and I've seen some demise of some really bad ones. And what makes the great ones last long is the communication between devs and players. And the fact that devs need to understand that your money will come over time. If you respect your player base, they are more likely to help you support the game if you help support them. It's a symbiotic relationship. Consider us all Venom, right? Anyways, guys, I think I've gone on too long about this. I just want to talk about it because a lot of people are asking me what I think. That's my thoughts on it. Revolving door. B. Zangief is a perfect example. We get stomped, we get crushed, we get interrupted, we get stunned. and then we're like, oh, we realize this game is actually not doing what we want it to do, and then it starts over. I personally still love the game. I make content on it for a reason, because I love the game. I am branching out on my content purposely because I want to be able to do more variety of things. I don't want to be stuck as one trick pony again, as I was with Ninja Tribes, which was huge, which is a big problem for me. Only because I'm enjoying it. So the moment I stop caring is the day I stop doing content again. Right? So I still love the game. I still love the community. But I'm not stupid enough not to see the problems. They're clearly visible, and I don't think the devs or Crunchyroll are afraid to hide them at this point. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. That's my big rant, but I am very curious to hear what you guys have to say about all this. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.